Hey guys, this is Heather from healthyveganrecipes.net. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for healthy granola. Phil, my husband, is really excited that I'm filming this for you guys today because he gets to eat it afterwards. And he just told me, I didn't know this about him, but he is a granola freak. Okay, healthy granola might sound redundant to some people because they assume that granola is really healthy. It's one of those quintessential healthy person foods, you know? Those hippy-dippy granola freaks. Right. Well, the thing is, granola is not always healthy, and actually a lot of the ones that you buy in boxes or regular recipes for granola have a ton of sugar, and they also have a ton of oil. So they aren't actually all that healthy in the end, even though the base ingredients of granola, rolled oats, nuts, seeds, raisins, those things are really healthy. So what we're gonna do is make a healthy version of granola by cutting down the sugar and not using any oil. Now, rolled oats are fantastic. I love using oats in my cooking because they have a great blend of all different kinds of nutrients. They have healthy, complex carbohydrates, they have proteins, they have fats, and they have B vitamins and minerals and all kinds of good stuff. So that's gonna be the base of our granola, and we'll start by putting some oats into a bowl. So you can use regular oats or quick oats for granola. These just happen to be quick. They're the only kind of oats that I can find that are organic around me, but I usually would use regular ones. The only difference is that quick oats have been chopped up a little bit, maybe they've been pre-cooked, so they're softer. So if you like softer oats, you can totally go for the quick ones. And then to help the granola stick together, what I like to do is add some flour, and you can use any type of flour you want, really. That's just a little bit of coconut flour that I had left over from my bag that wouldn't fit into a jar. I like to keep my flours in jars so that they don't absorb moisture, go bad, or get bugs in them or anything like that. So the rest of this is buckwheat flour, but like I said, you can use whatever kind of flour you want. Okay, then I like to add some seasoning, and I'm gonna put in some ground cinnamon and ginger. Now you don't need to put the ginger. I just happen to really like the flavor of ginger. Plus it helps boost digestion. So if you find that you have trouble digesting your granola, then try adding some ginger to it. And I like a lot of spice, so I'm putting in quite a lot of cinnamon and a decent amount of ginger. Now to give our granola some crunch, some flavor, and some more healthy fats, we're gonna add in some nuts and seeds. So I got some almonds that I've just chopped up roughly. You can also buy chopped almonds, whatever you like. I've got some pumpkin seeds. Now an interesting thing about nuts and seeds, people often think of them as bringing in protein, which they do. But as I mentioned in the beginning, oats have protein too, and oats actually have 15% protein by calories. Nuts and seeds, well, nuts have about 5% protein by calories, and seeds have somewhere like 10 to 15. But as you can see, oats right up there. So stir that together. And then we're gonna add some moisture. And now most recipes call to add oil for moisture, but what I'm gonna do is add some cold, pure fruit juice. Okay, when I say pure fruit juice, that means all that's in here is the juice of certain fruits. And this is pineapple. I often use cranberry, but I just had some pineapple kicking around from something else, so I'm gonna use that. And I've accidentally put it in the 1 cup. I'm gonna start with half a cup. You wanna add just enough to get your oats moist. The reason it's cold is because if it's warm, the oats are gonna absorb the moisture too much. But if you add cold juice, you're gonna get just enough to bring your granola together, but not make it sticky like a cookie dough. You don't want that consistency because you want this to get really good and crunchy. And if you want this to be sweeter, you can add half maple syrup and half juice. when you're buying your juice, you want to look for it, like I said, just juice. If it says cocktail, don't use it. It's got added sugar. So there's about another 1/4 cup. Okay, so in the end I had to add 1 1/4 cups to just bring this granola together. And I used just juice, okay? So I'm gonna taste this and make sure that it tastes all right. If you're making this for someone who is totally not used to eating healthy granolas and is used to the super sweet kind of granolas, then, like I said, you can add some maple syrup or just some unrefined sugar, like crystal sugar. You can put that in the batter and then add your juice. But it's always good to give it a taste before you bake it, because at this point, I can change things, I can add things, I can do whatever I need to do to make it taste good. But once it's baked, there's very little you can do. I really like the pineapple juice. It's really nice. That's the first time I've tried pineapple. Like I said, I normally do cranberry or apple. Sometimes I do apple sauce. Then it makes it a little bit chunkier. But yeah, okay. So this is all together. Now what I'm gonna do is put it onto a baking sheet. The wider you can get it spread out, the better, because you want this to get crunchy. And what I'm gonna do, because it's hot out and it's hot inside, I'm actually gonna bake this on the barbecue. Another cool thing about making things on the barbecue is that you get to get out in the sunshine. Well, not so cool if it's raining, I suppose. Okay, so here is my granola, and you'll notice that the one thing I haven't put in here is any kind of dried fruit. I love putting dried fruit in granola, but you don't want to put it in before it bakes because it'll burn. So what I do is I bake this like this, and then at the end, after it's baked, I'll add in some raisins, some goji berries, some chopped up dried apricots, whatever I feel like. Okay, so I have a handy temperature gauge on the front of this barbecue, which is telling me that it's at 400. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. And then when you close it, it acts like an oven. And I'm gonna turn this down, like I said, to between medium and low. And then you're gonna want to turn your granola halfway through, which is about 15 minutes. I find it usually takes about ½ hour on the barbecue because it is a little bit hotter than an oven. All right, so that is done. The one thing you gotta watch when you do your granola or anything else on the barbecue is that it does tend to get hotter as it goes, like the longer it stays on. So you can go very quickly from being perfect to being a little bit burnt. So there's some bits here that have got a little overdone, and I'm just gonna leave those. I like how this batch worked out because there are some big chunks that are softer and some little chunks that are crunchy. Kind of get the best of both worlds. Okay, so get your granola into some kind of airtight container, and then you can add your dried fruit. And I'm just gonna add some raisins today because that's all I have. I normally put some goji berries in here, which is pretty fun, but I'm all out. So, maybe just raisins today, and then give it a shake. Make sure this stays closed. And then it's ready to eat. You can do whatever you want with it. Some of my favorite things: put it on a fruit salad, put it on my morning porridge. I like to have it with things. Phil likes to just eat it on its own as a snack, like cereal or for breakfast. But anyway, very healthy version of granola, not using any added sugars, just fruit juice for sweetener. If you want to make it sweeter, of course, I mentioned you can use maple syrup as part of the liquid, and it tastes awesome. So enjoy. I'll post the recipe over at healthyveganrecipes.net, and you can get trying it for yourself. See you guys.